105.5 FM, WIFO FM Jesup. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show for this 20th day of March, and it's brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.
Hi, I'm Mandy Yeomans.
And I'm Raymond Brown with First Southern Bank. As your locally owned community bank, we're here to help our community grow. Our customers are why we are here. You can tell we want your business.
We offer all types of deposit products, personal and business. We have fast, efficient service, and yes, we have online banking too. I'm sure we have an account to fit your needs. Stop by or call us at 912-588-1010 and see how First Southern Bank can help you.
We're FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
When it comes to barbecue, Van's Barbecue in Jesup is the place to be. A small family-owned business located at 1876 on the Savannah Highway. Van's Barbecue has lunch and dinner special. Stop by or call to make an order. The number to call, 427-3358. Van's Barbecue's new manager is Sarah Van. Van's Barbecue offers potato salad, coleslaw, baked beans, and don't forget their delicious mac and cheese. Also, check out their shrimp plates, the best in town. Yes, when it comes to barbecue, head to Van's Barbecue, locally owned and operated. Stop by and tell them the Big Dog sent you. Once again, the number to order, 427-3358.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jesup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jesup.
Are you looking for an insurance company that you can call and talk to a live person? Are you looking for an insurance company where you can walk in and talk to an agent? Are you looking for an insurance company that offers multiple companies so they can try and get you the best rate? If you said yes to any of these, then you need to call or come by O'Quinn & Associates Insurance Financial Services. We offer multiple companies so we can find the best fit for you. Give us a call at 385-1000 or stop by our office at 212 South Fair Street right here in Jesup.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
All right, you got something there first?
Jason Martin, our literary coordinator, the literacy team was in the Quad A state meet. Again, they won the region championship a couple of weeks ago. Several individuals did well. J.C. Cooksey finished third in state in personal essay and fourth in state in international extemporaneous speaking. Zamil Jasma finished fourth in state argumentative essay, and Erica Middleton placed fourth in state in domestic extemporaneous speaking. Again, the literary team came in 15th in the state, win the region, but again, the Quad A meet placed 15th. But those individuals placed in their events, so our congratulations to those students. Appreciate Jason Martin sending us that in this morning.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, congratulations. They did good. Did good. Okay. 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, world-famous Butch and Bob Show. It's supposed to be, of course, Monday with State Representative Stephen Meeks. He's in a meeting, but he's going to try to get out of it. And if the phone rings, if our bat phone over here rings, he'll call in, and we'll have him on in just a few moments. But, Bob, how is that bracket of yours looking with 16 teams left?
My bracket's in the trash. I had 8 out of the 16 teams, but I have none of my final 4 teams left. So
none of your final 4 left? None, not a one?
Not a one.
You just couldn't pick Alabama for nothing. Why did you didn't want to go with the, you just don't you don't like Alabama so much you couldn't even go with the SEC, could you?
I just can't pick Alabama. Alabama's probably going to win it. Looking at their bracket, they got a clear path now to the Final Four. So, I mean, they're just whipping up on people. They got the best team, no doubt. I mean, they're the odds-on favorite, but I just, some things, it's against my religion to pick Alabama to win a national championship, so I just can't do it.
Okay. Just can't do it, huh?
That's one of the
just can't do it. Cannot pull for the family of SEC, but that's
it's
one relative that you just can't pull for, right?
It's one of the commandments. Thou shalt not pick Alabama. So, I got to stick to my religion. So.
Thou shalt not pick Alabama. All right. Well,
but I'm sure they're going to win it. I mean, they got an excellent basketball team.
Got an easy path to the Final Four, you think?
Looking at the bracket, I think they've got an easy path to the Final Four, so they got to win 2 tough games. But March
so you got
Madness
Alabama
matters.
left as a number 1 seed, and who's the other number 1 seed?
Houston's still number 1 seed.
Houston's still in there, okay. But
Purdue,
the other 2 are gone.
Purdue
They're out of there.
Kansas gone, yeah.
Yes, sir. Last year's national champ, gone. Kansas hit the dusty trail.
It's good games last night. The Gonzaga UCLA game was a good game. Michigan State game was a good game. It's fun to watch.
Now, who was the head Gonzaga's? Was that Buddy Carter?
Buddy Carter's
Buddy's got Gonzaga and pulled through at the last moment last night.
Yeah.
So, Buddy Carter, you're still in there.
Mine is in the trash.
Yours in the trash. Bob's done gone. All right.
It's one of those years. So, better luck next year, as they say.
Yeah. You're not one of those type of people that are just going to pick the number 1 seeds all the way through, are you? No. It rarely happens.
Just know what I said.
Well, you got 2 of the 4 already gone.
Yeah. I think only one time in the last 30 years, all 4 number 1 seeds have made it to the Final Four. So
yeah, but if you pick all the number 1s, don't you have a good chance of at least one of them getting there?
Maybe so. Get Alabama in good shape because they're most likely going to win it. But I don't see anybody in that side of the bracket beat them, so we'll see how it all plays out.
All right.
So Alabama fans are happy.
I know. They gotta be happy.
SEC's still up. Arkansas played real well. They're still alive.
They're still alive.
Tennessee's still
Tennessee.
alive.
3 SEC teams after the Final 8.
Kentucky,
or 16, excuse me.
Kentucky got knocked out by Kansas State, so that was a good ball game. But Kentucky just couldn't pull it out at the end. So
what ACC teams are still left in the Sweet 16?
Miami.
Duke? They still there? No. Duke got killed?
Yeah.
Got knocked off?
Duke was my team to win it all. They're out. They got beat over the weekend.
They got beat?
Tennessee beat it. Tennessee just was more physical. Tennessee just from the start. You just tell Tennessee was going to win that ball game. The first 5 minutes of the ball game, they wanted it more than Duke did.
Man,
they were just more physical than Duke.
Okay, so Duke and Kentucky's out. 2 blue bloods. Kansas is out. Another blue blood. UCLA.
UCLA's still alive.
They're still alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
They play Gonzaga this Friday. I think it's Friday they play. Maybe Thursday. Anyway, that's the matchup in that bracket. UCLA Gonzaga. That'll be a good ball game.
Okay. And then the following week will be the Final Four and championship game, and that's in Houston, you said?
Houston, Texas.
Okay, for the Final Four. Sweet 16 is going to be all over the place.
Monday, April 3rd is the championship night.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Good to see the USA baseball teams in the finals in the World Baseball Classic.
Yes, it is.
They whipped up on Cuba yesterday, 14-2. Trey Turner with 2 more home runs, so he's having a great series. So they got to wait for the winner of the Japan-Mexico game tonight. So it'll be interesting who wins that ball game. But that's been fun to watch. The place is packed.
Mm-hmm.
Good baseball.
Yep, good baseball. And way to go USA, beating on Cuba there.
Houston got bad news. Their second baseman, Jose Altuve, got hit on the hand, broke his hand. He's going to be out for 8 weeks. So Houston
that was supposed. Well, I think that was a 90-something mile-an-hour fastball that hit his hand.
They're without their second baseman for 8 weeks of the season. That's tough.
Yeah. Defending world champs there.
That's the gamble you take when you play those games.
Yeah, well, play any game, you know. You got a 90-something mile, mid-90s, I understand is what it was, and it hit his hand, and you just know the pain that had to cause right there. I mean, it's coming so fast you don't even have time to move your hand out of the way. Have you ever stood in front of a base and seen a 90-something mile-an-hour fastball go by? Have you ever just, I
mean, I've watched it behind home plate.
Behind home plate.
Calling the ball games. I've seen 90 miles.
But you've never stood there at the plate just to test it out, huh? See what it's like to coming in so fast you can't even get your bat around. All right. But that's moving fast. You know that? Well, the Atlanta 400 was held this weekend in Atlanta. Great race, beautiful weather, good crowd there, lots of folks there. And Joey Logano wins. And they redid the track to make it more like a mini Talladega or Daytona. Talladega's 2.66 and Daytona's 2.5. Atlanta's 1.5, but they reconfigured this year to make it a tri-oval and higher banks and and a little skinnier, a little skinnier, and it turned into a great race. Boy, that last couple of laps was something else, and the moves that Joey Logano made there on that last lap to go by Brad Keselowski was just something else. But you had Joey win, and then Brad came in second, and then Christopher Bell third, and just right on down the line there. But just a great race there in Atlanta, just good racing. You never know when you configure a track like that how the racing's going to be. But it created a lot of speed and some boys, a lot of wrecks. I mean, some major wrecks, kind of like Talladega and Daytona. When you got that one person that wrecks like that, it just seems to affect a lot of folks. But a great race in Atlanta, and then I think they're supposed to be back again this summer with another race there, I believe. So good racing here in the state of Georgia for NASCAR. They're going to be heading up to Bristol in a couple of weeks. They're going to be doing the nighttime dirt track thing again, where they bring in all that dirt and clay and put it in that bowl. I call it a bowl, there at Bristol, and so that's always a good night racing there. In the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, they've brought in the clay to make it a nighttime clay, a dirt track. And that's always exciting for people to go there and watch that. But congratulations to Joey Logano and his team for winning the Atlanta 400 yesterday. 105.5 FM, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, world-famous Butch and Bob show for this Monday morning. Anything going on in news this week, Bob?
City meets tomorrow. Like I said, the big news story is the East Bloss vote tomorrow.
That's right, the East Bloss.
All the polls will be open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and we'll get the results of that East Bloss. But had the biggest turnout on Friday. 105 people showed up to vote Friday. That's by far the largest number they've had any day of the 3 weeks of their Saturday vote.
It's almost like 3 days worth in one day there.
Right. So
some days 4 days.
Be interested what the turnout is tomorrow, but polls open in all voting precincts tomorrow from 7 to 7 p.m. and have the results for you tomorrow night. I should have them during the ball, but just not sure. The ball game starts at 5:30, so we may be out of there by time to get the vote count.
Maybe out of there because those games last usually, I don't know, 2.5 hours. So
it's averaging about 2 hours, but I don't think New Hampstead's very good. So might be one of those blowout 5-inning ball games. So I think Wayne County's in good shape in this region. Off to a nice 3-0 start. Southeast Bullock's 3-0, BC's 2-1. So Burke's going to be competitive. They'll have those were 3 good ball games except for the last game when we blew them out in the third game, 12-2. But the game up in Burke was a competitive game, and the second game here was a 4-2 game. So Burke's going to be decent in that region.
Yeah, we just came on that third game and just whipped up on that third game.
That kind of ran out of pitching.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times when you play 3 games in a row like that. If you don't have deep pitching, that third game can be a disaster.
Coach McDonald's going to make that call. I still think those 2 pitchers that pitched in Game 3 were burnt in Game 1, so be interested what the GHSA rules.
Well, they lost anyway, so.
I know, but still, though, it's all about protecting kids' arms. Those rules are in. Those rules are there for a reason, and the reason is to try to protect the arms of those kids. So you hate to see a kid throw 100-some pitches on one day and then come back 3 days and still out there pitching. So all you do can hurt some kid's arm. So that's why those rules are in place.
Why would the coach take the chance on that? I mean,
they want to win, Butch. They want to win.
They want to win.
It ain't
Even
about
though
kids.
You're hurting the ball, you may be hurting the kids.
It's all about winning.
It's always about the money and always about winning, right?
Exactly. They want to win. They don't care about kids' arms. They want to win. Their job's about winning and losing.
Are you for sure they both pitched over 100 in that first game?
I'm just going by what they have a thing called Game Changer, and they post everything at the end of the ball game.
Oh, they do?
And the number of pitches, they were well over the pitch limit. So
because, he kind of suddenly pulled them there in that first game, so I thought maybe, he's at 90-something now, and they're going to pull him out.
He was still over the limit, so be curious. Let's say Coach McDonald didn't want to answer that question in the post-game show, but he's going to make. I'm sure there's going to be a phone call made today, so be curious to see what there's any punishment, any repercussions about breaking the rule. So curious minds want to know. At least I want to know.
Okay.
Because if there's not going to be any punishment.
I know you're very curious about it. I mean, you kept talking about it throughout the entire game.
Well, they made it clear before the game started that they were burnt.
I know.
They made it clear. I mean, they told us up there in Burke they were burnt. I mean, I walked out of the gate and I said, what kind of pitching y'all got left? Because y'all just burnt your best 2 pitchers. They said you're going to see a freshman and a sophomore. So that's what they told us. So, I mean, so they knew they were burnt. So.
Well, if you know you're going to get caught, then why do you put them out there anyway? Because you know even if you won, they're going to be taken away.
I don't know.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, Bob. When I was flipping around yesterday, I saw one of those LIV golf tournaments. Have you watched any of them? I didn't watch any of it. I
haven't seen.
I just passed right by.
I haven't seen any of it on TV.
Yeah, it was on yesterday.
What channel?
I think
I was watching the PGA tournament.
It was on one of the Channel 3 channels. I'm not sure if it was the main channel or the CW channel, but it was on one of the Channel 3 channels.
I'm a big fan of Jordan Spieth. I was hoping he was going to win that tournament, but he got to the 16th and hit into the water. So that kind of hurt his chances. Had a chance to get back in it with a birdie putt on 17 and missed that putt. So he didn't win. Some guy that never won before won yesterday. So I can't think of the kid's name, but.
And which tournament was that?
Whatever the PGA
wherever they were
tournament.
playing?
Yeah, wherever they were.
Wherever they're warming up for the Masters.
I was flipping back between 3 channels. I was watching.
You were wearing that clicker out, huh?
I was watching basketball, golf, and they had John Wick movies on all day. So they had John Wick, John 2, Wick 2, and Wick 3.
Getting y'all prepared for the John Wick 4 movies coming out.
Yeah, so I got updated.
Some of the critics that have seen the John Wick 4 already have already said it's the best one yet. So
I'm sure,
and that's people's opinion. That's 2 or 3 of the critics. So we'll see.
I like John Wick.
Yeah, there's amazing movies.
A lot of killing in those movies.
A lot of killing.
A lot of headshots.
I wonder how many people John Wick has killed in the first 3 movies. I'm going to burn that calculator up.
It's amazing how he can just 1 against 40, but
yeah,
he kills all 40.
Yeah, they shouldn't have killed his puppy, man. Yeah. I was reading something about.
Don't shoot the dog.
Yeah, I was reading something where the director and the producers of the first movie went back and forth on the puppy thing. Because you can kill people in a movie, but you don't kill dogs. That really upsets people. You don't kill people's pets, and so they debated back and forth about that. Should they kill him off? Shouldn't they kill him? Whatever. But it's become part. I mean, that's the motivation because that's what his ex-wife had given him to remember her by, and they killed the puppy, and then it went on from there. That's what drove him in that first movie, and just continued on with the next 2.
Then they killed Halle Berry's dog, and she goes crazy. So.
Yeah. They killed her dog, and Halle goes nuts. You don't kill someone's pet. You just don't do it.
I'm just surprised Lawrence Fishburne's character survived. He got 7.
I know. Well, and then, of course, John Wick, he falls off that roof and hits, I don't know how many awnings on the way down before he hits the ground. And he's still alive. Jeez.
Yeah, I think John Wick 4 comes out pretty soon. So
yeah, real soon. So
I had to catch up, but I was flipping channels yesterday. 3 things at once. So.
You didn't have brain overload? No, you're able to.
I'm just used to it.
Keep it in different compartments and watch each one and keep up with it.
I should be smart and just DVR one of the shows and just flip it.
It takes less time to go back and forth, Bob. Oh, boy. All right. Anything big coming up in sports this week other than Wayne County baseball tomorrow night?
Like I said, NCAA basketball kicks in Thursday. I said, I don't know if the bass fishing tournament, I didn't get anything on the bass fishing.
No information on our boys bass and girls bass fishing?
Right. Might have got rained out, or I'm not sure, but I didn't see anything on that. So there's a lot of the middle schools are already done. So it's all JV and varsity. So it's kind of slowing down a little bit, but still a lot of teams in region play. And like I said, soccer, tennis, golf, baseball.
All that's going strong.
On track still.
Yeah, we're going into May. Yep, we're going into May. So all that's going on. We are still waiting to see if State Representative Stephen Meeks calls in from Atlanta. He said he'd be tied up in a meeting around 8 o'clock, and as soon as he got through with it, he would.
He said he'd try to call.
In if he got through with it in time. You know how it is when you get in those meetings sometimes.
I said, I just want to get his thoughts because one of the hottest debates up there is that House bill he's trying to push
on the weight
heavier
trucks,
heavier trucks on the road. So. Yeah, that's House Bill 189 would allow some commercial vehicles to carry an extra 4,000 pounds about the weight, but understand it's the hotly contested topic up there in Atlanta because it's divided party lines. People just, the Department of Transportation's against it as well as other advocates of safety on the road. So be interested how it all plays out.
Well, how does that work when you got a semi or a big heavy truck like that, farm truck, heavy truck, semi truck, whatever, going from South Carolina or Alabama or whatever into the state of Georgia? Do they have to sit there and unload before they hit the state of Georgia since ours is less than the states around us?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. And with us, with the busiest port in the South, right here in Savannah, I mean, how does that work? I guess they have to keep it light enough. If they know if they're coming into the state of Georgia, they can only go to a certain weight through South Carolina or Tennessee or Alabama or so forth, since we got lighter weights than they do.
Every time I travel, you see all those trucks always on the side of the road, but people pulled them over. So I don't have no idea.
Yeah, but, I don't know, Bob.
Be interested how that vote plays out.
It will be interesting to see how that turns out because it's like anything else. Dang if you do and dang if you don't. And so if you do it one way, you make some people happy. If you do it another way, you upset some people and make other people happy. So there's always different sides to an issue. You're never going to satisfy everyone. But a lot of debate going on that right now in the legislature up there, and it's Stephen Meeks' bill, so it would be good to be able to hear from him this morning to see how that's going. He still has 10 minutes.
So
he still has 10 minutes.
Those meetings sometimes last a long time. So
they do. You get meetings sometimes and you just wonder, is this thing ever going to end?
County commissioners have begin their interviews tomorrow for the administrator. That'll be interesting.
And we have a local guy.
Candidates, local person. Paul Drought is interested in that job, so it'll be interesting to see him.
That's
DA's race still a few years off, or a couple of years off, but I saw John B. Johnson yesterday. He's already announced he's running for district attorney.
John B. is?
John B.
Going to run for DA?
Yep. He's out campaigning already.
Wow.
So I saw him yesterday. Asked him if the rumors were true. He said there's no rumor to it. He said he's definitely a candidate for district attorney. So.
A former regular here on the Butch and Bob show back in the late 90s and early 2000s, John B. Johnson, former assistant DA for many years, good friend by all of us.
So, late breaking news.
Late breaking news. John B. going to run for DA. I guess would be in 2024.
I think it's next year.
Yeah, 2024. So a little over. Not quite 2 years away, a little over a year and a half away. Okay. It'll be interesting to see how all that goes. All right, what else is going on, Bob? Anything at all?
All the NFL news. Didn't take Adam Thielen long to find a new contract. The Minnesota Vikings released him. He picked up a nice contract with the Carolina Panthers. Still, people are surprised that Ezekiel Elliott got kept by the Cowboys. Be interested to see where he lands. So. NFL draft coming up in April, so a lot of movement in NFL, a lot of free agents signing long-term contracts.
No final ink on the contract with Rodgers yet.
No,
not yet.
Said him. Apparently, the Packers and the Jets have to work out some kind of compensation.
Yeah,
I mean they're just not going to let him go to New York without Green Bay getting something in return. So the question is, what are they going to get in return?
Yeah.
What kind of draft
picks
are they
going to get? Green Bay wants the number one round and number one pick. And,
well, they should get
and New York saying we ain't going to do that. We'll maybe give you a 2 and a 3, but we ain't giving you a 1. It's just this negotiation, Bob. Who blinks first?
They should at least get the number one pick. I would think.
Yeah,
it's not like they're getting a scrub.
Does the Jets want Rodgers more than the Packers want to get rid of him, is what it comes down to. Isn't that something you play, it's just like with Brett Favre, and now you got with Rodgers, you play your career there at some place, and then it gets down there toward the end, and next thing you know, you got these, the team wants you, the management, they want you gone, and, and you think that someone could stay there to the end, but we've seen this so many. Joe Montana, you mentioned, Elway, all these big quarterbacks who played for one team for a long time. Next thing you know, they end up somewhere else in the last 2 or 3 years. Brady, yeah, just can't seem to play all the way through.
I think the Packers just got tired of all the
drama.
Just like I said, he's a strange bird. They drafted Jordan Love a couple years ago as the number one pick, and everybody thought that was the predecessor, and he's been sitting around for the last 3 years sitting on the bench. So they were just ready to get him on the field. So, and the Jets have, they need a quarterback. They need some excitement in New York. So I'm sure Rodgers will provide that. But be interested how he deals with the New York media. They say the New York media is a lot different than other media.
Oh, they're rough there. I mean, they're rough.
The tabloids every day.
Yeah,
So,
it's just rough there in New York with that. And speaking of football, they had a couple of NFL Atlanta Falcons players yesterday at the race there at Atlanta that they interviewed and talked to, and then you had some, when they said, "Gentlemen, start your engines," you had 3 or I think 4 Georgia Bulldogs there doing that. They really included a lot of the person who sang the national anthem was from Atlanta. So they really involved the Atlanta and Georgia people in there. And yesterday's NASCAR race there in Atlanta.
and spring practice already started up in Athens. The big question is going to be the quarterback. Yeah.
So who's the top quarterbacks?
Right now, they're saying Carson Beck's the leading candidate, but Brock Vandegrift and Gunnar Stockton are in the mix. So Kirby says it's a 3-person race, so this hadn't been decided by any means. So most believe Carson Beck will be the starter when the season begins. So
now, where's he from, Carson? Do you know?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville?
I believe he's from Florida.
Okay. All right, and then the NFL draft comes up when in April?
April. I'm not sure.
You don't know the dates yet?
No.
Okay. All right. But it'll be in April, will be the draft, and we'll see where Stetson and the rest of the gang goes.
Be interested where Stetson does go. Who wants him?
Yep.
How high does he go? Jalen Carter's going to be the big mystery, though. How far has he fall? How far has he fallen with all this stuff going on, showing up out of shape?
I can't believe he showed up out of
drills,
shape.
So.
Yeah. And he got out of shape quickly because he did good up there at the NFL Combine, and that's just a few weeks. I mean, not long at all. I mean, how do you fall out of shape that quickly?
He's had a lot on his mind since that accident, the fatality involved in all that. So,
right,
kid's got a lot going on.
Yeah,
played no contest. I'm not sure what he got.
He was just driving in the vehicle next to it and then pulled away. I mean, he wasn't involved with the wreck itself.
We don't know that yet. That's still to be determined, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
The fact that he left the scene of the accident.
No, he left the scene of the accident. That's a bad thing.
So there's a lot. Yeah, I've heard from people in Athens say that story's not finalized as of yet. So
okay.
Time will tell.
Okay.
Because they were racing. I saw a report on the news that apparently that's a big thing now. People racing down the roads, highways. I don't know why, but apparently that's.
Oh, it's been that way. We used to race around here when I was at Wayne County High School.
At 100 mile an hour?
No. I'm not going to admit to it. We never went over the speed limit first. We just see who could get to the speed limit quickest. That's what we did in high school here from Wayne County High School back in the early 70s. I can get to 55 quicker than you. Yeah, right. Of course, back then, it was 60 during the day and 50 at night. You remember those? I don't know if you remember those signs, Bob, in the state of Georgia where at night, when you shone the lights on it, it dropped from 60 down to 50. And then during the day, you would see the 60. And then sometime, in, I don't know when it was, late 70s or somewhere there, or early in the 80s sometime, it just went to 55 all the time. Yeah, I remember those because I remember seeing them going back and forth to Athens from 72 to 76, according to what time of the day. Didn't like going down up Highway 15 at night if I could help it, especially during the wintertime period because there was a lot of deer on Highway 15, at night. So like to make that trip during the day if at all possible. It didn't always happen, but it was good to be that way. And I just think about driving back and forth between Athens. It's amazing, survived, driving back and forth all that time. But I did good. You couldn't drive. You didn't have a vehicle. Even if you had one, you only had to go over to Stone Mountain. You'd have to go those 4 hours up there, up 15 from Jesup to Athens. Well, it doesn't look like that Stephen Meeks is going to be able to call in this morning, so hopefully we can get State Senator Blake Tillery tomorrow. Maybe he'll have an update on that bill because it did pass out of the House into the Senate, so it's the Senate one that's really considering it now.
just reading the material. Apparently, that's the hottest bill being debated right now up there. So just hotly contested. Like I said, got members on both sides of the aisle voting one way or the other. So it's not a party line vote by any means. It's just, what people think is good for the state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. Is it good to put heavier weight on the roads, or is it not? So, but it's apparently debated. I said DOT's definitely against it. Some other safety advocates are against it as well. So be curious to see how it all plays out.
Okay.
But I was hoping to get Stephen, because like I said, he's been helped sponsoring that bill. And Blake Tillery's on supporting it. So be interested to see how the vote. Stephen joked he just needs one more. It's kind of like the East Boss. He just needs one more.
One more.
Yes vote.
Just need one more vote in the nose, huh?
That's right. Don't need a majority. Just need one more than no votes. So, a reminder again: the East Boss vote tomorrow, 7 to 7. The polls will be open. So, you say you're always the traditionalist. I'm the traditionalist, so I'll be voting tomorrow as well. But it was nice to see a decent turnout on Friday. 105 people voted. So maybe it's picking up.
Okay, we got something here about the bass tournament. 4 teams participated at West Point Lake in LaGrange this weekend for the bass tournament. A couple of teams caught fish, but none qualified that they know of. One more qualifier before state championship. So they got one more tournament to qualify for state championship.
So it did take place.
It did take place up there in LaGrange. All right, I'll read this when we get through here, okay? Coastal Georgia Honor Flight is seeking war veterans from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War to take to Washington, D.C. to see their war memorials. It's a free one-day trip flying from Brunswick Airport on Saturday, May 13th. Each vet will have an assigned guardian to attend to every need, as well as 3 doctors and 3 nurses on staff. Wheelchairs will be accessible for each vet as needed. For more information, go to coastalgeorgiahonorflight.org. coastalgeorgiahonorflight.org. So if you're a veteran from World War II, Korea, or Vietnam War, and you'd like to get a free trip up to see your war memorial in Washington, D.C. in May, go to coastalgeorgiahonorflight.org. I don't think we can discuss that right now, so we'll go and see if there's anything else. How was y'all St. Patrick's Day? I worked.
I did too.
Yeah, we both worked. We had regular work day and then the doubleheader baseball game. So, but they're having the St. Patrick's Day parade this Saturday in Shellman's Bluff.
Really?
Yep, this Saturday. That's right. So that's all the messages that I see have come in. All righty. That is it. Well, Bob, we're going to wrap up the show. Okay. You have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, is brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.